Speedway. This is an RTV6 News special, Trackside 6.
Oh, it's like deja vu all over again. Ed Carpenter, who grew up literally just a mile away from the world's greatest race course, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, takes pole once again, this time for the 102nd running of the Indianapolis 500, his third career pole position. Good evening, everyone. I'm Dave First. Welcome to our pole day coverage here. RTV6 News Special, Trackside 6, wrapping things up fresh off the RTV6 ABC broadcast where you saw Ed Carpenter pick up his third career pole. Simon Pagenaud will start second, Will Power third, but it's Ed Carpenter who breaks up that front row Penske parade. Let's go over to Brad Brown, who's standing by. The celebration continues over there, and he is with the aforementioned Simon Pagenaud. Hi, Brad.
Hey, Dave. Simon Pagenaud. We'll start in the middle of row one for the 102nd Indianapolis 500. You sat there on the top of the board when this thing kind of all went down to the wire. Kind of tell me the emotions of that last 5 or 6 minutes here.
It's horrible. It's the worst time in your life. Obviously, this would have been awesome to get the pole. But you know what? I mean, at the end of the day, we did a great job. All four of us at Team Penske, in the Fast 9. Chevrolet, man, it's just turned the table, man. To completely reverse the situation last year with Honda. So these guys did a tremendous job. I want to thank them very, very much for the effort that they put in. And Team Penske, man, I mean, it's we rubbed on that car like you have no idea last night. We even looked at my helmet, trying to find ways to make it go through the air. We put WD-40 on it.
Something magic, right?
We tried everything we had, and hey, you know what? Second is really good. First row. I'm super happy for John Menard as well. He's excited about this place, and I want to do good for him.
We're taking a look at one of your laps during your qualifying. We talked about the conditions out here. Man, it was hot and slick by the end of the day right here.
So basically, I didn't use the steering. I was just tilting my head to turn, and she was so free.
Lean to the left.
And when she was turning too much, I was putting my head right. It was nail biting, but great balance, great job to 22 Chevrolet team. Wow, incredible! I'm just so proud of my guys.
To see your guys 2, 3, 4 up there, Will and Joseph kind of right there with you. The consistency of this team, we've really seen that through the course of the week. Have you guys felt that?
I think that's the biggest testament to Team Penske. Is probably the only team in the paddock here that can produce 4 cars as equal as these ones. So that is special. And here is we call it the factory of speeds, the speed factory, I should say, because a ounce of drag on the car is going to slow you down a lot. So everything has to be perfect.
Have a great race next Sunday.
Thank you.
Simon Pagenaud will start second as Team Penske goes for win number 17. Dave.
Simon Pagenaud did a nice job. Again, Will Power will start on the outside of row 1. Ed Carpenter is the pole winner. We're going to hear from Ed here live momentarily. Tony Kanaan joins us here for the our post-qualifying special. By the way, congratulations.
Thank you.
You said your pole would be if you started 10th in the race.
We're on the pole for the guys in the back. For the guys in the back.
It's all good. Right? You can win from row 4. Heck, you can win pretty much anywhere in this field.
We won from row 4 in 13. I was 12. So.
See, there you go.
We'll do it. We'll be excited.
All right, we're waiting to hear from Ed Carpenter, and hopefully we'll hear from Buzzy Zeller, maybe even Heather and the family as well. But the conditions today, so different than what you guys dealt with yesterday.
Windier, hotter. Track temp was 30 degrees hotter, so a lot of all these make the cars a lot more slippery. Not Ed's car, but everybody else's car. And we ended up actually having to add downforce to the run. And so what we ran today, we didn't run a single qualifying sim in the last 3 days because of the temperature. And we went quicker.
Explain that a little bit. You have to add downforce. The track gets slicker.
Track gets hotter.
Yeah.
Right? They eat the tires quicker. So basically, the drop off, when you see a guy doing like a 228 and the next lap a 227, it keeps dropping. It's just because when you make the turns, the car is sliding more because the surface of the track is hot, produces a lot more heat to the tire. The tire will lose grip. Losing grip, you lose speed. So the more downforce you have, the more you keep the tires, ease on the tires for the consistency of the 4 laps. Because it's 4 laps. If it was only 1 lap, downforce wouldn't matter a lot.
You could hang on to it for a lap. It'd be good.
Exactly.
The thing is, those who added downforce did pretty well, and there were some big jumps, especially in that 10 to 33 group, obviously. But those who didn't add it, I'm assuming Alexander Rossi was one of them. He lost 22 spots.
Yeah,
today.
because of that. I mean, look at the drop off. He started at a 227 and ended up at a 224, 221 on the last lap. That is because he was about to crash, and he was lifting for sure.
All right, standing by. We're going to hear from Elio Castroneves. Is that the plan here, guys?
I can go grab him.
Do you know him at all?
I think I know somebody that knows him. I can go get him.
Well, hey, there's Fuzzy Zeller over there. Maybe we should grab Fuzzy. What do you think?
Free vodka?
Should we
I can't drink. Tomorrow I'm testing.
Well, you got your own vodka to worry about.
Yeah, well, I was going to say I can't bash on it. Big machine's much better.
But how about the job, all told, Ed Carpenter Racing? I looked this up. Think about this. They've won 3 poles here for the Indy 500. That joins the likes of Team McLaren back in the 70s, J.C. Agajanian back in the 60s, John Menard in the 90s, and A.J. Foyt. He did it a couple times as a car owner in the 70s, and then again with Billy Boat back in 98. But, I mean, this is not easy.
But how great is that? You own your team.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You drive for your team, and you own the place.
The family owns the place.
Well,
I
still,
don't think Ed owns the place.
It doesn't matter. It's in the family.
To go out and turn a lap, though, at
230 miles an hour,
exactly.
I can only do it on the drafting another car. So it's extremely remarkable. And then they've done such a great job in the past years. And obviously, Ed is a local guy. His fan base has been growing for years.
Yeah.
It's awesome to see. I mean, I can't explain now how impressed I was with the run.
They have 3 in the top 7. With Spencer Piggott starting 6th, Danica 7th. We're going to hear from those guys here in just a bit. But let's head over to Brad Brown, who's standing by with really the person who runs the Ed Carpenter family, Heather Carpenter.
The head carpenter of Ed Carpenter Racing, maybe. Mom's here and the kids as well. Heather, first of all, kind of the excitement to go through this once again here on pole day.
I don't know if I call it excitement, misery all day long. And then afterwards, obviously, we're just elated. And we're so proud of this team. I mean, 3 cars in the top 9, our whole crew. And I want to thank our spouses of our crew because they've let them work tirelessly. And it's amazing.
Fun. We got the boys here. How was this? Was this a fun day?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how'd Dad do?
Really well.
Really well, right? Did you enjoy this too?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about Daddy's going to start up front? Is that good?
Yeah.
Sure is.
Hey, act more excited.
Right? I know. They're worn out, right? They all are. Yeah. How about the emotions of this? We know what the drivers go through. What do you all go through over here on the sideline?
You know, I was just talking with Ed's mom, and we were talking about how all day long your stomach's just in knots. Like, you can't even drink water because you're just... And I actually think qualifying is 1,000 times worse than the race. Just because they're on edge, and you just don't know what's going to happen. And I know Ed, and I know he's not going to lift. And so he would rather hit that wall than not get the pole, so you just never know.
You're going to enjoy the evening, though. Enjoy the week. We'll see you on race day.
Thank you so much.
Good. You guys have a good time, boys, all right?
Say thanks.
All right. All right, yeah. Team Carpenter worn out, as are most of us. We'll catch up with Ed in a few minutes here, Dave, but the party's going to continue down here.
They'll sleep well tonight. There's no question about that. So, Ed on the pole, Spencer Piggott in that 21 machine. He'll start 6th. Danica will start 7th. How impressed were you this week with the way Danica handled everything after being out of the car in 7 years?
Honestly, I've talked to her a lot on the casino night, and I think she's just more relaxed, man. I mean, it's something
Very
that,
much
you know,
so.
Michael told me that when he retired, right? That once he let it go, it came much easier. So to me, she seems relaxed. She's enjoying life again. Obviously, you're always going to enjoy when you're fast, and she's fast. She's still fast. She has a fast car. Great for her, great for the sport.
Here's the thing. I mean, she went after a lot of teams for this final run for her. Carpenter wasn't one that she started off pursuing, but ended up there. It might have been the best spot for her ever.
Oh, trust me, if I was out, if I was going to do a one-off,
yeah,
that was the team that I probably, if you can't get into Penske or Andretti at the time,
right, that
would be the team. But knowing what Chevy had done over the winter, I would have choose a Chevy team, and
they did their homework.
And she did the right thing. Sometimes, if you're not doing the whole championship, sometimes you stay out just to do the 500. You have a bigger chance to win than actually guys they're full time.
Danica will start on the inside of row 3. She'll start 7th overall. Let's hear from DP.
How's it feel to at least be kind of in the mix here, to have this kind of car this weekend?
Is that what you'd call it?
just in the mix.
I mean, to be a strong contender as you are. There you go.
Come on, get your words right, man. I mean, what am I now? Second? Third? Well, Spencer's out there. So, you know, look, you know, doing Indy again was exciting thought to me, and then it came down to who I was going to do it with, and got a lot of history with some people on Ed's team, and you know, I know how strong Ed is here and with his team and the speed that they have at Indy. So, you know, then it became that choice, and so this is the way you want to do it. You know, if you have the opportunity to come back, I mean, this is like the way you'd write the book.
You said you didn't want to just come here and run around here. Clearly that's not the case. You've got a car that could win this thing now. What kind of level of excitement do you have here a week before this thing?
Well, I mean, you're catching me after doing after qualifying for the top 9, so like I'm still coming down. So,
breathe a little, yeah.
Yeah, like I can't answer that question.
Here's the thing, though, about Danica. You see that she's smiling.
Yeah.
When's the last time she smiled?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't watched a lot of the races over there, so.
She talked about just wanting to be relevant in racing again, because let's face it, and she admits this, she hasn't been in NASCAR the last several years. But to come over here, final race, and to be relevant once again, I think is a big, big deal for her.
No, it's a great farewell for her, and hopefully she'll have a good farewell here where she started.
Yeah. She will start 7th a week from today. Hard to believe the countdown is on now. 102nd running of the Indianapolis 500. Back with so much more. We're going to hear from Ed Carpenter, 3-time pole winner here for the world's greatest race, the world's greatest race course, the Indianapolis 500. Back with more here on Trackside 6 on RTV6.
Better pizza, Papa John's.
Tony Kanaan, Dave First back live, Trackside 6, wrapping up pole day 2018 here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. By the way, you like the backdrop we have for the show tonight?
It's awesome.
This is like the most expensive backdrop in the history of sports right
Thanks
now.
to Shunk, my beautiful face is there. Borg Warner. Well, we have a better one here.
See, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. This is what happens when you win the Indy 500. You can get one of those tattoos on your bicep.
That's a better trophy right there.
That's not bad either.
It's not worth $3.5 million, but I don't think so.
Well,
you think my arm's worth $3.5 million?
If you win a second one, do you get the other arm done?
No, we'll finish the arm.
We'll finish the arm.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And they will pay for it.
Borg Warner says he's going to pay for the rest of it. All right, let's head over to Elio Castroneves, 3-time Indy 500 champion. He will start. Let's start 8th.
Let me tell you.
Elio!
TK says hi, Elio.
I see. Oh, we're right. I was just looking, and we are just one position ahead of him, or two positions ahead of him. So it's kind of like, see, I come back, and we're together again. So hopefully we're going to go to the front together again. So it's great. It's obviously it was an interesting qualifying. No, congrats to Ed. I mean, to pull that 230. I mean, wow. Even when I was inside the car, I was like, do we have enough gear to go to that fast? The engineer's like, well, if we have a little help from the wind, we might. So it was an absolutely incredible job. And Team Penske, I mean, you see like 2, 3, 4, and I'm 8th. So I took a chance for my teammates and didn't pay off.
The conditions were tough out there today. We heard it from a lot of guys. Did you kind of feel that too? That it was just trying to find that little extra tick of speed that you were looking for?
Yeah, because now the car, since it's a new car, you know, sometimes if you're trying to control the rear, you start creating a little bit of push, and now you control the push. Now you bring back the little bit of the rear, and that's what happened to us. We saw our teammates giving a little bit of push. I'm like, crank that front wing, let's go. And man, that was not the right decision because I was hanging on, and thank God the car came back in one piece.
You're starting next to Danica on race day. It's like old times around here next Sunday.
I'm telling you, man, the old timers is still. This place is about old timers. It's not about new young kids, you know. Even Ed look at this guy here, right here.
Right there, yeah. I know, right? Yeah. Ed, say hi. Say hi. Yeah. Okay, we'll get back to you.
Yeah, we'll get back to you.
I know, right? Young gun like that. All right, yeah.
You got many more years to come back, so.
Ed's on standby here, but to get another shot at this from that position, you got to feel pretty good in the third row.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just as you saw yesterday, the drama. Fortunately, Hinch and Pippa, man, was not in the race, so imagine those situations. I don't want to even think about it, but today it wasn't. Well, today was about to qualify the car and take a chance, whatever you want to be, but yesterday was just be happy to be in the race. And I tell you, man, it's going to be a great race. People are sometimes in doubt about the new package. Let me tell you, it's going to be just as fun as the qualifying.
Okay. Enjoy it, man.
I will.
There you go. Elio starts P8. Dave going for win number 4.
I love hearing from Elio.
Wow.
See,
Let me tell you.
the Elio-isms. Wow.
Wow.
And what else? Let me tell you.
Obviously.
Obviously. And then what else?
Obviously.
He kind of looks in the camera and gives it a little. You got it down.
I love you, Elio.
It's like you guys grew up together or something.
Yeah, no, we only know each other for 34 years.
Guys used to share an apartment in Columbus, Ohio, for crying out
I
loud.
don't want to know that story. But
See, one of these days, I want to get all the stories out from that.
we got to write a book together about that stuff.
I would highly suggest
He
that.
went to cook a chicken one time, and you know what? We left it there for like, I don't know, 30 minutes. I don't know how to cook. He knows how to cook. And we went to cut the chicken, and the thing exploded and opened. And it was like, you know, like there was nothing left of the fucking thing. So he doesn't know how to cook.
Did you see the movie Christmas Vacation?
That's exactly what happened.
When they opened up the
when
turkey?
they opened up the turkey. That is exactly what happened there. So we went to McDonald's.
Which is where every good Brazilian goes when they're hungry in America.
Yes.
For the
It's
first
cheap
time.
for the
It's
first
cheap,
time.
exactly. Let's take a look at Sebastian Bourdais' run, especially when you go back to last year. And I know that's somewhat been rehashed, probably played out a little bit. But the job that he did yesterday to get it in the 33 and the Fast 9, to go back out today. Here's a 4-time series champion, back in the old Champ Car World Series days. But this guy, he might be getting better with age.
He's the real deal. We all are.
Oh, that's right. We all are.
Look at how many veterans you have in the top 10. Just count it. Me, Dixon, Danica, you just count.
Pagenaud's no spring chicken.
Carpenter.
Yeah.
It's more than half of the top 10 guys are
it's
36
funny.
plus.
This series wants to promote all these young guys. I'm like, wait a minute, the old guys aren't so bad.
They have a lot to learn.
They have a lot to learn.
But, you know, remarkable. I mean, that shows a true race car driver there because he came back to the place that he almost lost his life, and he's still fast.
Let's hear from Sebastian Bourdais, qualified 5th for the Indy 500.
Yeah, top Honda, man. I mean, you know, Dark on Racing, Vaston and Sullivan. You know, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a big honor. Really happy that all the efforts that these guys put through the program, you know, obviously paid off. And I let them down a little bit in turn 1. It was a bit tough. Backed off a little bit, but in lap 3. But you know, we'll see what we got. I think. Obviously, this qualifying is all about the show. It doesn't mean much for the race, but very happy that we came through and that Sailmaster Honda number 18.
A lot of the Hondas have been struggling in this setting. Did you guys kind of find something that you're not going to share, obviously?
No, I mean, it seems like we obviously had speed on the Noto reports all week. Struggled on race trim, but we'll see what we got.
Sebastian Bourdais, row 2, next Sunday, 102nd running of the Indianapolis 500. Joseph Newgarden to his inside, Spencer Pigot to the outside. Top Honda as well for Sebastian Bourdais.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big domination from Chevy.
Chevy did the homework in this one.
And then yesterday, if it wasn't for the weather, would be more. We would have been in the Fast 9. Would be one. Well, or no, because we'd had Bump and Danica. So yeah, only 2 Hondas. It was. Well, thing is, Dave, I think with the 140 boost, we said that yesterday.
Right.
The Chevy engines, for some reason, they like that better. When we go back down tomorrow, will be a lot more similar, both engines.
I want to ask you about car setup and balance and the engineering. When they added the boost, a lot of the Hondas fell down as well. More on that and more on James Hinchcliffe. What's going on? Will we see Hinch actually in the 102nd running of the Indy 500? Phone calls are being made.
Do you have $2 million?
Right now. I've got $20 on me, maybe.
Let's start a fun crowd.
We're gonna you fund me. Yeah, that's right. Back with so much more. Field is set for the 102nd running of the Indy 500. Tony Kanaan, Dave First, Brad Brown, and a cast of thousands continue here on RTV6.
See Tom Wood Lexus.
Tony Kanaan, Dave First, back live with Indianapolis Motor Speedway, along with the $3.5 million Borg Warner Trophy. We're waving to Ed Carpenter,
hey, Ed.
3-time pole winner, and he's standing by with our Brad Brown. Hey, Ed, congratulations.
Yeah, there they are. Hello, there they are. Hey, Ed, David TK, say congratulations. What a day, man. What a day.
It was definitely a fun day. You know, we knew we had a shot after last night's run. You know, and amazingly, my guys did a great job, improved the car, and you know, it was the best pole car I've had here. The balance was perfect all 4 laps, and you know, made me look really good.
That says a lot, because those 2 pole cars you had previously were amazing some of those years ago. What has made this so good for you this week?
You know, I think we've worked hard. You know, I'd say compared to other years we won the pole, the car was good. You know, and we really didn't change much all week. This week, you know, we did a lot of work and developed the car a lot over the course of the week, not only mostly for the race, and then when we got to left Thursday night, we weren't really happy with the way the car was handling and qualifying trim, and we made some changes for Friday and hit on something really nice for qualifying. So now we'll jump back to the race setup that we were happy with on Thursday.
We touched on it with Danica earlier, the team being able to put all 3 of these cars in the top 9. Just the effort for your crew entirely to make this happen.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of work. You know, it's hard to make cars as equal as you can, so to have all 3 of our cars with enough speed to get into the top 9 is pretty awesome. You know, and it really just goes to all the guys back at the shop, all the engineers, everyone from our painter especially is the man, Ron John. You know, all the guys, they put a lot of hours into these cars, and you know, they learn things every year to try to make it nicer, and it shows when we get here.
We look at the row 1 graphic that we had up there. You're up there with a couple of those Penske guys to put ECR and fuzzies and all that up there. You know, that's good. Feels pretty good.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I have so much respect for Team Penske and the way they've run their business, everything they've accomplished here. Respect for all 4 of their drivers. So to be in the same league in them right now, you know, it makes me really proud of all the effort that our teams put in.
Congrats. Enjoy the week. We'll see you on race day.
Thank you.
There you go. Ed Carpenter will start from pole for the 102nd running of the Indianapolis 500. We'll take another break as we continue our Trackside news special coverage on pole day at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Back with more after this.
For $239 a month.
Thanks for spending your Sunday evening with us here. We've had a couple of isolated storms all well southeast of the track in much of central Indiana. No warnings in effect. This is the one that had the warning on it earlier for some hail. That's now into parts of Ohio, and then just some isolated downpours moving into portions of Franklin County here around the Brookville area, and then as we cross Highway 50 around Campbell and the Holton area, just an isolated downpour, nothing strong or severe. And TrueCast shows the trend here. After we get that cluster of storms out of here, things will be pretty quiet. Same can't be said for tomorrow. Scattered showers and thunderstorms will be a little more numerous throughout the day as temperatures climb into the 80s, and there is a slight risk some of those storms tomorrow could have some gusty winds and hail. We'll take you right back trackside when our special continues right after this.
Or get left in the dust.
Tony Kanaan, day first back live. Trackside 6 here, wrapping up pole day 2018. Ed Carpenter for the 3rd time wins pole after also doing so back in 2013 and 2014. Now the team has 3 poles matching teams like Team McLaren, Foyt, J.C. Agajanian, John Menard. That's some elite company right there. So
what they accomplished in the few years they're in the business, it's impressive.
And for them to expand to a 3rd car and still pull this off.
It's a big thing. People don't understand how difficult that is, and to make 3 cars that fast, because we have 3 cars in our team, and you can see the discrepancy there in one of the cars. So it takes a lot of work, a lot of good guys, and a lot of good management to have that.
You got to add staff, you got to add crew guys,
the right staff too. You know what I mean? And you got to be careful because obviously Ed has been really quick here. Depending who you hire, and after the end of the month you send it home, they will have all the information. Then we can sell or come to another team.
And
so
end up at Rahal next year,
or AJ or Andretti, you know, so you got to be careful too.
That's pretty interesting. All right, so the underlying theme today, outside of who would win pole, was what about James Hinchcliffe and whether or not Hinch is actually going to be in the Indianapolis 500. Here's what I know. We can kind of toss this around as we take a look at Hinch's run yesterday, which did not qualify, he nor Pippa Mann qualifying. But there's a lot of phone calls being made right now. There's no deal done right now.
No.
But there's a price out there. There's races being tossed around. Hey, we'll give you so many races if you allow James in the car. The price you're hearing right now would be
I've heard $2 million in 3 other races for Connor to do. I think his only possibility right now is go with Connor's car.
There are several options we talked about yesterday. None of that is happening. There is one option, it seems, that is left, and that is Connor Daly.
If that's going to happen. But I think it's like, obviously, there's only one option. They can, or Connor, whoever owns that car for that race, can set whatever the price they want.
It's a Dale Coyne car.
Yes, but sometimes the way the contracts are done, it's a Dale Coyne car, but it's run by Connor Daly and his sponsors, so I think they will have a say on it.
And if Dale gets $2 million, I mean, we both love Dale Coyne. $2 million would speak to him, though.
Man,
agreed?
I mean, 100%.
Let's hear from Robert Wickens, Hinch's teammate. He starts 18th. He talked about his teammate, James Hinchcliffe.
You're as close to Hinchcliffe as anyone. What's kind of the mood around the shop today with this whole situation?
You know, we're one big family, the whole team, so there's still devastation, you know. But, you know, today we were kind of focused on the goal today of trying to be as high up into around 10th as possible. But yeah, and James is, you know, a team player, so he sat in the morning engineering meeting as if he was driving it and giving his opinions, giving his, you know, his thoughts and his experience. So it, you know, you would think he's still in the race, but no, I mean, he's a professional, but obviously for sure he's pretty gutted.
He's gutted, and that continues here today. Meanwhile, Ryan Hunter-Reay went through a very similar situation back in 2011 when there was a deal done with A.J. Foyt Racing. Yep. And even Hunter-Reay was kind of embarrassed by the whole thing.
Yeah, but at that time, so the DHL president said, I have 300 people coming to this race. Are you really going to worry about what 10 people on the internet going to say? Or are you going to worry about keeping happy the employees that actually work to pay for you to do what you love? So, I mean, it's a brutal business. I hear both sides. I saw a lot of criticism about, oh, that shouldn't be allowed. The rule says the car qualifies.
It's the fastest 33 cars.
So you can do whatever you want. So to me, not because I like Hinch, none of that. We want to bumped, we had bumped.
Yeah.
And now we have a situation, and it happened before. It happened with Hunter-Reay. It happened before with Bruno Intagliani a year with the Conquest. So it has been done before. And, you know, when you think about the business, you got to think about it, because I know people keep saying
there is a big picture to this.
Yes, people said, well, Penske didn't qualify, they went home. Bobby didn't qualify, they went home. I understand that. Different times, sponsors were coming out of the window at the time. Right now, they're hard to come around. And then if you have to do something to please a sponsor, I'm pretty sure Hinch's not going to pay to go back to the grid. Sam Schmidt won't do it. If somebody's going to do it, it's his sponsor, and that's because they're going to want him there.
Penske in 95, Bobby Rahal in 93. Ryan Hunter-Reay addressed the topic earlier.
You've been in this spot before where you miss out, you find a way back in. Kind of can you give us any idea what the logistics are, kind of how this thing works?
Oh, you mean with Hinch?
Yeah.
It's all down to the sponsors and team owners. Anybody that thinks a driver's sitting there picking up the phone saying, hey, can you give me a ride? Doesn't work that way. It's completely out of his hands. You know, a lot of these teams and sponsors, they have contracts which stipulate a full season. And when that sponsor, it's a massive amount of investment in the series like Aero does, you know, that's something where the team owner would try and go to bat for their partners, and that's how business works. So I'm not sure how it's going to shake out here. You know, I think we'd all like to see when bumpers bump, then usually they would end up missing the race. But the health of the series, the health of the sport, it comes down to our partners. You know, it's bigger than the drivers at the moment.
So is the tradition of bump day worth kind of all the trouble we're talking about with this right now?
Sure, it's Indy. That's what we stress about all year. Absolutely. I love this place.
All right, so that leaves us with a couple of cars that Hinch might be able to get into. We're going to hear from James Hinchcliffe momentarily, so stand by. But let's hear first from Connor Daly.
It would have to be life-changing for it to be a situation. I just don't think, you know, I hate to be put in that position because James is one of my best friends. But I mean, I've got a career and I've got, you know, a lot of incredible partners that have put a lot up to do this. And yeah, it is what it is.
That car is an option, whether or not Dale Coyne would give up the races. And
life-changing.
$2 million.
Life-changing means he wants probably a contract for a full time, and I don't think that's going to happen.
So that leaves then Jay Howard. Jay Howard's in the 7.
He already said he was not going to happen, though. I heard.
Well, let's hear from Jay.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, with the big setup, we don't have it.
We don't have it. So but that's what I'm telling you. He said.
Go ahead and cue up James Hinchcliffe then. But here's what I understand. Jay Howard has a pretty ironclad contract that the team's not going to get paid if he doesn't run a lap for the Indy 500. Okay. So that might be the best contract I've ever heard of.
Aero doesn't pay. If Hinch doesn't put a lap, then
right. Correct.
Sam is going to have to wait see what happens.
All right. With all that said, let's hear from James Hinchcliffe, shall we? He is the odd man out, and he is doing his best right now. Actually, he's putting on a brave face.
He was in qualifying line wishing me luck today, which, he was
going down and giving everyone a thumbs up while you guys were in the car.
And that's a true champion right there. To me, I texted him last night. I said, dude, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. If I could give you my place, I would.
Yeah.
Because I already won this thing, but I can't. And he was really humble about it.
All right. Let's hear from James Hinchcliffe earlier today, only on our Trackside 6. I know it's been a difficult 24 hours. This thing isn't over, or is it over in your mind?
You know what, man? I think for my own sort of self-preservation, I have to believe that it's over. If something changes, it'll just be Christmas in May. But I think to get through the next couple days, I need to just accept what happened yesterday, and as a team, we move on. We've been down before. Weirdly, that wasn't my worst day at IMS. Yeah. I've actually had a worse one.
Yes, I can recall that.
So it kind of puts everything into perspective a little bit, but at the same time, these guys work so hard, and this race means so much. But there's 100 points on the line in Detroit, so we're already heads down, focused on how to take 2 wins over there in Belle Isle.
How do you think this happened? Because it's not just you. There's some other cars out there that are usually really good, but for some reason, some strange reason, they're not so good here.
Yeah, it's been an interesting year, obviously, with the new kid and kind of learning what makes it tick. And it's definitely a lot more sensitive in certain areas. It's a lot more numb in others. And some of the traditional things you do to get speed don't really work. I think it's a little more sensitive to conditions than maybe the last kit was, and that's making some of the difference that you're seeing with some guys. But first year with a new car, I think there was always going to be surprises at some tracks, and unfortunately for us, the big surprise was here.
This is a big one, though.
It is, but it's happened before. As I said yesterday, the system didn't fail us. Nobody in line screwed us. We just missed it. Yeah. There's nowhere to look but inside, and that's maybe makes it even harder. Because we are such a competitive group at SPM, and we do work so hard, and we take things like that very personally, as you should in a competitive environment. But we're gonna come out stronger from this. There's no doubt about it.
There are some very uncomfortable conversations happening, probably a lot not to your knowledge right now. If something would come up, would you still take a ride? Or there's a sense out there, and Hunter Ray talked about it several years ago, there's almost an embarrassment that all of a sudden you find yourself with a ride and you're back in the race. So
yeah, the adorable thing is that anybody thinks we have a say in this.
Right, exactly right.
It wasn't Ryan's decision one way or another back in 2011, and it's not my decision this year. If something comes up, I have a contract, I have a job that I have to do. If I'm told to do it, I get in the race car and I go. I have no say in whether or not we do it. I have no say in who it is, if there's options. It's not like that, which is why, like I said, it's out of my mind as far as I'm concerned. I'm not driving, but if something comes up, I've got to do what I'm here to do, which is obey my team bosses and go get the job done on Sunday.
It sounds like you're kind of at peace with this, but I guess maybe you have to be at this point, so just in case.
I could worry, and I could be upset, and I could be angry, and I could be a lot of things, but is it going to change anything?
Right.
So you just kind of have to get over it, and in a lot of ways, the other bad day that I had here inadvertently sort of prepared me for a day like this.
Just say at least you're standing up.
At least I'm not in a bed with tubes hanging out of me.
But tell you what, he's handling this incredibly well.
He's getting a lot of coverage, so maybe he would think about it. Maybe he'll be on the ABC booth.
If I'm ABC, I call him up for sure. Another quick break. We're going to cut you loose. We'll see you.
I'm going to go have dinner.
We go have dinner.
Well,
back with so much
week.
more.
All next week we'll be here.
RTV6 Trackside 6 rolls on here live from the Speedway.
And thunderstorms rolling out of central Indiana this evening. Let's take you into your Monday forecast. This is TrueCast, 11 a.m. Already some scattered showers over the western portion of the state. We'll see occasional showers and storms, more numerous throughout the day on our Monday. And again, some of these could have some gusty winds and some hail. That's a look as we approach midnight tomorrow night. 7-day planning forecast after Monday's rain chances drying out for quite a bit. Temperatures warming well through the 80s. Our Trackside 6 special continues right after this.
Farmers Insurance and Teachers Credit Union.
Day first, Brad Brown joining us back from interviewing everyone in Victory Lane. The Carpenters are having a blast.
I tell you what, the Carpenter kids are worn out till they're not, and then like 7 or 8 year olds do, they get a sugar high of some sort. There they go.
Absolutely. Let's talk about a couple of former champions in the field, but starting further back that I know that they would like, beginning, of course, with last year's champ, Takuma Sato, 4-lap average of 226.557. Much better qualifying position, though, than his teammate, Graham Rahal.
Yeah, the Rahal Letterman Landing and Racing cars have struggled this week. Graham just has been really frustrated with it, but Sato found some speed here on Sunday. There's something you could take away from finding more from yesterday to today?
Oh, definitely. You know, we definitely learned a lot and a step forward, and now obviously completely different scenario, concentrating on the race car. So I think we have some time, you know, Monday and the carve day, so I think we can make it.
What do you try to get accomplished tomorrow?
Well, it's obviously in the car, well, in the traffic, you know, it has to be really strong, and the consistency is a case too, because if it becomes a very hot race, you know, end of the race, I think a tire degradation is the one everybody's struggling for. I think, you know, that's the one we really need to work.
That is going to be an interesting story come race day. Tire degradation, something we really don't talk about in an oval, but it might play a factor a week from today. And then Alexander Rossi thought he was going to be up in row 4. Guess what? He's in row 11. He's going to the last row party.
He was the last guy out of that first qualifying group, the 10 through 33. Had it going good for that lap number 1, and then something all went wrong. He was only 221 on that last lap, and they're still trying to figure that out. Can you pinpoint what happened on the back half of that?
It wasn't the back half, it was the beginning, but I'm not going to talk about it on air.
The frustration of trying to find these numbers all month and then for it to kind of come down to like this today.
Yeah, no, it's for sure frustrating. I mean, the Napa Auto Parts and Jetty Honda, I thought we were fighting for the row 4, and we had the speed to do that all month. We just barely missed the fast 9 yesterday, so it's unfortunate. But as we saw yesterday, there's a lot of curveballs this place can throw at you. So it's part of the nature of the beast, and you know, thankfully it didn't happen yesterday, and we have a shot to go forward in a week.
And here's the thing, Alexander Rossi, just his 3rd Indy 500. If you thought it was difficult now, just wait. As time goes on, it gets more and more bizarre at this place. But he started off with a lap at 227 miles an hour. Yeah. Last lap, 221.
Yeah, and I'll be curious to find out at some point as we dig a little deeper here what exactly happened to that car here in qualifying on Sunday, because they had every right to be up in that 4th row.
He lost 22 spots from yesterday to today. Back with so much more. Wrapping up, setting the field as well. Field of 33 now in place here at the world's greatest race course. Back with so much more after this.
Entertainment Escape.
Day first, Brad Brown at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Trackside 6 coverage continues. This is one of the really good stories this month of May. Young Matheus Leis, just 19 years old. Guess what? Fastest rookie in the field.
That would be TK's teammate back there at AJ4 Racing. What a great pairing. The 19-year-old kid pairing him up with the old guy, I guess, for lack of a better term. No offense, TK. But really the chemistry, and you've seen it back there with these guys, has just been great.
Matt Leis. He will start in the middle of row 4, 227.571. Just a tick slower than TK, but I'll tell you what, AJ Foyt's smiling back in the garage area. We haven't seen that in a while.
AJ might be happy tonight.
He might be happy. Checkered flag is out for Matheus Leis. Back with so much more. In fact, we'll set the field of 33, the 11 rows of 3, as we continue here live, RTV 6, Trackside 6. Field of 33 is set. Here we go. Row 11, Jack Harvey, Alexander Rossi, Connor Daly. Right now. Row 10, Jay Howard, Ed Jones. What happened there?
Yeah, they're struggling with that car. We'll see what Chip Ganassi's guys are able to do with that.
Graham Rahal with some room to make up on race day. Zach Veach did a nice job. Oriel Serbia +5 today. Jared Hildebrand in there. Then row 8, Gabby Chavez. How about Steph Wilson? Great to see Steph.
Hey, Steph took last year off for Alonso to have the drive. Great to see him in the field, though.
Row 7, then you got James Davis at +14 today. Max Chilton, Carlos Munoz. Look out for Munoz.
Munoz will be in the mix. It'll just be interesting to see how he works the traffic next Sunday.
Row 6, Sato. Kaiser, the rookie, the Indy Lights champion. Robert Wickens, another rookie. Then in row 5, Zachary Clayman DeMello, Ryan Hunter-Ray, a former champion, and a nice run today by Charlie Kimball, +10 today.
Yeah, really good run. Really, all 3 of those guys will be, it's an interesting mix right there.
Row 4, very interesting as well. TK, Laced, Marco. Row 3, Danica, Elio, Dixon. Row 2, then Newgarden, Bourdais, Piggott. Row 1, I tell you what, going to be interesting on race day.
I got to tell you, you could pick any of those front 9 to win this thing, and it's a solid choice.
America's Funniest Home Videos. If this wasn't funny enough, we've got something. America's Funniest Home Videos on ABC. It's next. Good night for now from the Indianapolis Motor